Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. This week I'm sharing 3 ground beef casseroles with you. I hope you enjoy this video and find something that looks really good and that you want to make this week. The first recipe we're starting off with is meatball casserole. I'm going to start by preheating my oven to 375 degrees. And I have a can of biscuits here that I'm going to cut each biscuit into 9 smaller pieces. I'm spraying down my 9x9 pan, and we're going to go ahead and put those biscuits into our pan. I just tried my best to make sure they were completely covering the bottom of the pan. Now I'm taking 1 tablespoon of butter and I'm adding a little bit of garlic powder, about half a teaspoon, as well as a little bit of parsley. I'm going to pop this into the microwave for about 20 seconds until it has melted. And then I'm going to just brush this across my biscuits, and I'm very glad I did this. I think it gave it another level of flavor down in the biscuits. Next, I'm adding about half a jar of marinara sauce over top of my biscuits. You can use any flavor or any brand that you want to. I'm actually just using, I believe this was the Kroger brand, and it's the tomato basil. Next, I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of seasonings. I'm using basil, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and red pepper flakes. Up next, I'm going to layer on some frozen beef meatballs. I did let these meatballs thaw before adding them on top of my casserole. I also want to mention my original plan was to do homemade meatballs, and I definitely think that would have made this a lot better. However, I just was not feeling it this day, so I had my husband go pick up some frozen meatballs, and it just made the whole process a lot easier. Next, I'm adding on some shredded mozzarella cheese. I did add this before baking. The recipe said to do that, but I think next time I would wait until the casserole was almost done and then add on my mozzarella cheese, but to each their own. Now I'm just tenting some foil over top of this so the cheese doesn't stick to the foil. And then this went in my oven, and this cooked for about 1 hour. You just want to make sure you cook it long enough to get those biscuits done in the center. And for me, it took about 1 hour. Here it is coming out of the oven. I removed the foil and stuck it back in the oven on broil for about 3 to 5 minutes until my cheese crisped up on the top. Next, I'm just garnishing this with parsley, not necessary. Even when I'm not cooking for YouTube, I love to add parsley. I add it on almost everything. I love when my food looks pretty. And then I'm also adding on some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. And then here is my finished bowl of meatball casserole. I definitely think this would be even better with homemade meatballs, but as is, it was delicious. Next up, we're making this beefy noodle casserole. I just started by getting a pot of water boiling for my pasta and preheating my oven to 400 degrees. Just a small amount of prep. I'm dicing up 1 small onion, and then I'm going to add 1 pound of ground beef and my diced onion into my skillet and just cook that through. Once my meat was almost cooked through, I actually added in some garlic to this to add some extra flavor, and then I just let those finish cooking together. Now I'm just getting my egg noodles started. I cooked up about 12 ounces total. Once my meat was done cooking, I drained the grease from that. Now I'm adding in one 16-ounce can of tomato sauce with one 15-ounce can of Italian-style diced tomatoes with about 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and then I added some salt and pepper to taste. Once my pasta was done, I drained that and I added it into my meat sauce. I gave that a really good stir to combine everything. And then I added in a half cup of sour cream. The sour cream is just to help give it a creamier texture. If you don't like sour cream, I'm sure you could replace this with something like cottage cheese or ricotta cheese, or even cream cheese would probably be very good in here. Once that's combined, I pulled out my 9x13 baking dish. I'm just spraying this down with some olive oil spray, and then I'm going to add half of my noodle and meat mixture into my dish. Now we're going to add some shredded mild cheddar cheese, about a half cup to 1 cup. You can decide how much you want. And then the rest of the meat and noodles is going to go on top of that cheese. I'm just going to top this with another layer of cheese, again about a half cup to 1 cup, your preference. And then this is going in my oven for about 20 minutes until the cheese is melted all the way through. I added on a little parsley to the top, of course, but again, that's definitely not necessary. This was really good, but me and my husband decided that next time I make this, I should add in some red pepper flakes and give it a little spice. Last but not least, we're making this Sloppy Joe rice bake. I'm starting off by preheating my oven to 350 degrees and chopping up 1 small onion. Into my skillet, I'm adding 1 pound of 85/15 ground beef and the onion that I just chopped up, and I'm gonna go ahead and cook that. Now we're gonna get our rice started. I used what I had on hand. I had some minute rice, so I quickly threw that together in the back to come up with 2 cups of rice. I added in about a tablespoon of minced garlic and I let that cook with my meat for just a minute after I had drained the grease. Next, I'm adding in 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and then I'm adding in a packet of this Sloppy Joe mix. I actually purchased 2 of these. I wasn't sure if I would need more than that. Sometimes I think things need more seasoning than they call for, so I went ahead and purchased 2 packets. I gave it a taste after the first one, and I decided I wanted it to have a little bit more, so I added half of the second pack, and that really did it for me. Next, in a separate bowl, I'm mixing together 1 16-ounce container of cottage cheese with 1 cup of sour cream, and then once your rice is done, go ahead and dump your rice right in here as well. The original recipe didn't call for this, but I did add some more seasoning into this mixture. I added about a half teaspoon of garlic powder and about a half teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm really glad I did. I really thought that this mixture needed some type of seasoning. I pulled out my 9x9 baking dish and I just sprayed that down with some olive oil spray. And now I'm going to add the entire bowl of this cottage cheese and rice mixture into my pan. Directly on top of that, I'm adding in my pan of sloppy Joe meat. I topped that with about 1 cup of shredded mild cheddar cheese, and then I stuck this in my oven for about 20 minutes to melt the cheese on the top and warm it all the way through. Here it is fresh out of the oven. I did let this sit for about 15 minutes. And then here is my finished bowl of food. We really enjoyed this. I'm not the biggest Sloppy Joe fan, but this was really good. All of these original recipes will be linked below. None of these were my recipes, but I really wanted to try them out. I hope you enjoyed this video and come back again on Sunday for a new video.